Thanks so much for joining me again for another December daily process video. So for today I've got day 19 for you, and we were on day 19, we're still in Bali, so I'm just taking a bunch of photos of the decorations in Bali. So for most years of last year or the year before, I tend to have a day where I just kind of taking photos of decorations around the place. Not so much just in the house, but more like, what I see, shopping centres or work and those various places. And this year we spend a kind of large chunk of our month in Bali. So I decided to kind of talk about decorations that we saw in Bali and how are they different, how are they similar. And we stay at, I think, 2 hotels, and one has really nice. So we stay at kind of a local hotel initially in a kind of a smaller town, and then I think on the second part of the trip we stay at the Grand Hyatt, which is the decorations were beautiful and huge hotel. And so it's just I was talking about how the contrast between the two places, and also the contrast between Bali and also compared to Melbourne. And so I am just adding a couple photos. So I printed the photos out into kind of 2x2. And now I'm using this tag here, which is from the December Daily kit from this year. Before I forget, just in case this is your first time watching this video, I've also got a bunch of other, the previous days. The links are below in the description. Now I am just adding some journaling. So I've typed up the journaling in an email to myself during day 19, and now I'm just kind of like writing that down. So as I said before, the tag itself is actually from the December Daily main kit. I chose this one. I think, what does it say? It says Christmas cheer, and I chose this one largely because on the back side of it is actually it's a bunch of stars, and I'm planning to keep that way. I mean, I might add, I probably will add an embellishment, but I'm not gonna actually cover the full thing up, the full tag up. So that's largely why I've chosen this card. I try to write the journaling as small as possible because I've got a lot to say, but so I'm just kind of writing really small, and then I underline the journaling there. And the next thing I'm going to do, so I've got 3 photos in front. I think I've got 4 photos at the back. And I am going to use this number 19 chipboard piece, which is from the December Daily main kit as well. And I want to emboss this 19 chipboard piece. But I was looking through my stash, and I decided to, because I don't have a kind of silver, or what do you call it, kind of white, glittery white embossing powder. So I'm using, I think they call it heat and stick, or sticky heat or something. It's like a heat set embossing powder, where you essentially you use Versamark ink, and then you add this powder on top, and then you melt it, and then it becomes kind of sticky enough anyway, so that when you pour some glitter on it, and then you heat set it again, it would stay. And that's exactly what happened. So I think it's called the heat set embossing powder or something like that, or heat and stick. I know that Stampin' Up used to sell it. I'm not sure that they still do. I got this tube years ago, and it's still working quite well, surprisingly. So I heated it up, and then I'm using some glitter. And the glitter I've got it's just like basic white glitter, and I think I don't know what brand it was, but it's really old, so I would be surprised if they are still available. But any kind of whitish or clear glitter would be fine there too. So I heat set it again after I pour some glitter on it, and now I'm just kind of waiting for it to kind of cool down a little bit. And I am just cleaning up the workspace a little bit. Every time I use glittery embossing powder, it goes everywhere, so I'm kind of I need to just kind of wipe this space a little bit. Now, the next thing I am doing here is I'm using that tag to work out, to measure up where I need to trim the number 19. The number 19 itself wouldn't actually fit into the pocket otherwise, so that's why I'm using the tag to try and make sure that it fits. And I was having a bit of a difficult time trying to put it in, largely because I didn't want to damage the chipboard piece. I wasn't sure how well the glitter and the heat set embossing powder was going to work, and I didn't want to try to crush the piece too much because I wanted the glitters to stay on. And so now I am just working out what I want to add into the other pockets I've got. I decided to go with these tickets here. I've got a few left. I just kind of want to use it up. And so I decided to go with this one which says Twinkle. And I hear another one at the back of it which says Merry and Bright. So very much a Christmas, very much a kind of light tinsels and those kind of like, you know, decoration related stuff. And then I adhere the two together using my tiny attacher on each side. And then I'm adding a piece of puffy sticker, just enamel dot at the bottom. I was actually going to add one on top and one at the bottom, but decided that was just going to be too much. So I added a really, really tiny one at the bottom. And now I'm thinking whether I want to keep that tag there or, you know, up top, etc. I also want to cut this 3x4 journaling card up to add to the pocket. So it's just a plain 3x4 journaling card from the Allywood's December Daily main kit. And now I can see there's a space at the bottom which I felt like it was kind of needed something underneath it, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it. And now I'm just kind of moving around to see where I want to fit it. But I kind of like the photo being on the left because I don't want to have too much kind of just, you know, cuts off on the left side. So I'm just moving that around a little bit, and then I'll put the ticket up the top. And now just trimming out the pocket. I'm happy for this to be not a full size one. And then I'm moving on to the back side of it. As I said before, I've got a bunch of photos to go in the pockets at the back. I think 4 in total. So that was a kind of a photo of a fruit. There was a kind of a decoration that they've used, which is really cool. I think it was like I don't think it was a pineapple, but it did look like a pineapple. And then there's these things like a lamb or something. It was really cool. And then so I took another photo of the Christmas tree at the cafe, and then also they have a really massive wreath underneath one of the pendants, just like ginormous. So, and I took a photo of that as well. And so next thing, so I'm looking through this pack of, I think, postmark stickers. Decided to go against it because I really like this tree here, which is from this acetate piece tree here, which is from the Allywood's kit. I decided to put that, you know, half of that on top and half of that on the bottom, and I really like it. I think you can still see through the piece, so you can see the tag. And now I'm just adding some adhesive, so I'm using the glossy accent to add the adhesive there. You would have been fine using the tiny attacher as well. I have better experience with just using glossy accent and apply directly from my finger, and I think that really works, has been working really well. I can't see, I'm looking at it now and you can't see the glue behind it, which is great. The next thing I am doing here is I was bothered by that white space at the bottom, so I decided to add a kind of stamp underneath it, and I'm using the stamp set which is from the Felicity Jane November kit, and the ink itself is actually from Hollywood's Crafters ink, so the red one called Pendleton. And the last thing I'm doing here is I am going to add this piece of chipboard here, which is this star, and decided to add outside the pocket. So I use my tiny attacher just to make sure that it's secured down well. I am also going to use this index tab from Avery to kind of stick onto the side there as well. And what am I gonna, which stamp set I'm gonna use? I'm gonna use the stamp set from the storytelling, December Daily storytelling class from Hollywood's from last year. I believe you can still get the same stamp set if you enrolled this year. I think you get the same stamp set. And I'm using the two stamps, which says decorating, and the other one says Christmas. And I'm just kind of putting that back. I'm using the VersaFine ink, black ink. So, and then I'm just kind of pulling out the backing sheet. And my way of doing it is you're pulling out one backing sheet at a time, and I think that's been working well. So I pull out the front one first and then the back one. And that is it, you guys. Thanks so much for joining me again today for another December daily process video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed it. And if you want YouTube to let you know when my next video comes out, please subscribe. And I hope to see you again real soon. Hopefully tomorrow if you have time. So have a wonderful day. Bye!